Yeah. Yes, please. Let us begin with the invocation. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Vasudevam Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagatkurum. Krishnam Vande Jagatkurum. Yes. Hari Om. Can someone recollect what is it that we've seen last? Namaste. Hari Om. Yes. Can someone recollect what is it that we saw last? We form the link and move ahead. Also, alternatively, if anybody has any doubts or anything you wish to raise, you are welcome to raise the same. Yes, please. Anybody?
Krishna is telling Arjuna that this body is called Kshetra
Ji.
and the knower is Kshetratna.
Yeah.
The self experiences of the body is through his consciousness. The self is the master of the body.
Okay. Yes, ji.
Yeah.
And who is the supreme Kshetrajna? There are so many Kshetras, but the Kshetrajna is one, the divine. Yes.
Divine. And you understand the body, and divine is the only one who recognizes the field.
He is the only one who recognizes?
The field, that is our body.
So if we want, we cannot ignore our physical body. It is an instrument for our action, instrument of furthering our life journey and life experiences, as well as sadhana. All right. Yes, Majid.
Shushruji, Hari Om.
Hari Om.
I had a doubt actually, Shushruji, that
Ji.
in the 12th chapter, he's taught, Krishna is teaching us about Bhakti Yoga.
Yeah.
And then, is there any specific question? Because I missed the earlier lecture. Is there any specific question which Arjun asks when Krishna starts explaining to him this Kshetrajna? Or he
Yes.
wishes to, yeah, I have not understood the link between the two actually. Why he
That's very
suddenly,
interesting. Okay. It's very interesting because there are two versions of the Gita. One which is more prominent is the Gita Press Gorakhpur edition also. And there you have no additional shloka where Arjuna is asking the question. But in some versions, there is a shloka where Arjuna is asking the question, Ki Krishna, tell me the Kshetra, tell me the way of the Vibhaga and the Kshetrajna. So there are two matas.
I see.
One feels that there is a need to connect it with the shloka. Another is one which does not feel that, and that is why 700 or 701 shlokas there are sometimes debates in the Gita. We are looking at 700. But if we look at what is the connection between the 13th Adhyay and the 12th Adhyay, Krishna has first told who is the dearest devotee, what is the way of bhakti, all of it. After knowing that, we have to enter into the field of action, isn't it?
Yes, definitely.
So Krishna is asking Arjuna to become more conscious. So it is like trying to make him more aware, because now after understanding the bhakti, way of bhakti, now enter into the world with the same knowledge of what is bhakti. Understand the vikaras, understand that the world is not an ideal place. But just
So all the
because it is,
obstructions which might
yeah,
affect bhakti, also
yes,
he's
yes,
explaining now.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes, this,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, I
And
understood
so he
now.
is
I was just
asking
wondering
us,
what.
yeah. Because now Krishna is going to make Arjuna more grounded because Arjuna has to enter into a battle, isn't it?
Yes.
So now his philosophy is going to go further towards the material world now. What are the forces at play? He's creating the ground for that also. There will
Yeah.
be
Okay.
again, of course, and the typical way of Krishna's functioning is not in a linear manner. He suddenly shifts the driver will go from first gear to second gear, but Krishna can move from first to fifth gear also. So we will see suddenly metaphysics also coming in subsequent chapters. Suddenly we will see metaphysical truth being told. Then that same truth cannot be fully understood also will be told. And then some other practical truth will be told. So Krishna is going to keep shifting gears to take us again to that same truth. Right now, this adhyaya is maybe bringing us to a little bit of a practicality. But again, in this adhyaya, there is again going to be metaphysical truth of Purusha and Prakriti coming up.
Okay.
So
Fine.
God only knows how he functions. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Understood. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
Hari Om.
Has he
Let's.
ever mentioned anything about the impending war or anything? He never
What?
refers to the Krishna in his,
Hmm.
now so many 12 chapters are over. We are on the
Ah,
13th
he says
chapter.
Yuddhasva Bharata. No, he says
Aha,
Yuddhasva
okay.
Bharata. Get up and fight. So many times he says you have to do your duty.
Ah,
युद्ध
yeah,
तो
yeah,
लड़ना
that,
है.
yeah, yeah. He's
Yeah,
prodding him to, exercise his Kshatriya dharma and fight. That is clear.
yeah.
Only thing is that he never talks anything else about the war in this whole
No, he
dialogue.
doesn't. They can. That
Ah,
is a beautiful aspect of
ah,
Krishna.
hmm,
Is he
hmm.
doesn't give any direct instruction. Arjuna is free. You will
Yes,
be
okay.
surprised that
Yeah.
till now he has not ordered Arjuna to do anything, isn't it?
Yes, never. Yes.
No adesha is
No
being
Adesh,
given.
yeah. But then finally Arjuna only says, you give me
Upadesh is
Adesh, I will
different.
do it. Yes,
Upadesh
yes.
and Adesh is different. So he's giving advice but not orders. We will see
Correct.
if 18th Adhyaya also Krishna gives order or he doesn't give order throughout the Gita.
Okay.
If I want to give a spoiler, I'll give it right away. About this, Krishna does not give any order even in 18th
Hmm.
Adhyaya.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Let's
Yeah.
continue.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Shubham.
Ji.
Yeah.
Hari Om Ji. Namaskar.
Hari Om.
So, yes, so we saw that bereft of anxieties and familial concerns, with children, wife, home, with detachment he discerns, and his mind is ever immersed in truth's tranquil, irrespective of happenings for or against his will. This was the ninth shloka where he says, this person is always in that trupti or the silence on the inside, or kind of a poise, nitya in that silence. And the inner silence does not mean outer mauna. That is also important. Inner silence means the poise. Does not mean this person stops interacting with people. But while interacting, the person is not fluctuating, whether things happen according to your will or whether they go against your will. That is something which is essential. Very interestingly, as I was talking about it, I had a very nice experience of some close relative, a family member whom I wanted to tell something which was good for the family member, but that individual did not want to hear anything. Then I had to use the most powerful mantra I can think of, most tantric mantra. Okay, that's all I could do. I had to say okay and move on because there is nothing else that can be done when somebody does not want to hear. We cannot force people to be honest. In life, we can always say certain things, but that will not guarantee that that is only going to happen. So we should be able to deal everything as a part of life and accept it. If somebody goes against our will, that should not make us frustrated. That is the ideal. We do get disturbed, but disturbance should become slowly lesser and lesser. And I think, as Pankaji shared that time, that we have to go to that zero state as well. Let's continue. Mai chananya yogena bhaktiravya Viviktadesha sevitvam aratir jana sansadi. Practicing yoga with the greatest devotion, loving the Supreme with an unswerving dedication, with a mind directed towards an inner clarity, away from the crowds and gatherings of outer vanity. This is another interesting aspect. Another way of the Kshetrajna is practicing yoga with the greatest devotion. So Shraddha is again essential here also. Shraddha is important. Somebody is practicing yoga with full Shraddha. When you have this Shraddha, it actually makes a lot of things in life simple. Shraddha takes you ahead. Loving the Supreme with an unswerving dedication. Another aspect along with Shraddha is Saburi. Anybody knows the combination of the Shraddha and Saburi? Which saint has given this as a mantra?
It is Sai Baba's.
Sai Baba.
Yes.
Sai Baba.
Yeah.
Shirdi
Yes.
Sai Baba.
Absolutely. Right. So that's a very nice combination, and that is required, isn't it? Can our Shraddha have an expiry date? I trust
No.
somebody until until I get the results I want. That's not a trust, isn't it? That's not faith. That is something like a expectation only. So Shraddha and patience, and not just patience, a perseverance. That is the right word for it. Somebody is persevering with Great devotion. It is like planting a bamboo plant. Anybody has cultivated bamboo plant anytime? Or knows the story of a bamboo? Yes, sir. Pankaji, if you can just share something about it in a moment. Yes, sir. Yes, please.
Yeah, bamboo plant, not here in US, but in my
Okay.
hometown in Banaras.
Okay, sir.
We have like kotis of it, like you just plant one
Ha.
and then it comes on its own again and
Yes.
again and again.
Okay.
And over a period of time, it becomes like, kind of jungle.
Jungle. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. All right. But the first plant, when you plant it, how much time does it take to grow?
Oh, yeah. It takes, I think, 2 full years. 2 full years
Yeah,
it
two
takes to.
full years. And it is like for 2 years, you have to be patient. You see no movement, no progress above the surface. Your efforts, if you are into only bamboo plant cultivation, for 2 years, you can either have hypertension with your heart in your mouth, or you can have great shraddha that this will grow. It takes time. I keep doing my efforts without expecting immediate results.
Yeah.
But then when the growth starts, the growth is not ordinary, it is exponential. The growth goes absolutely fast. It is something very similar in our life sadhana also. We must have that patience and allow the divine to work on us, because the divine molds us in the sadhana. That getting molded by the divine is itself the greatest privilege. And to be conscious of that and to be receptive is the ultimate aspiration of a sadhak. If we can do that, well, we are on the right path, because then the journey is pretty good. And afterwards, there is the growth, and the growth can be exponential as well. So, here, practicing yoga with great devotion, loving the Supreme with an unswerving dedication, with a mind directed towards an inner clarity. Meaning, the mind should be directed, there should be a clarity. Why am I doing this? People go through entire lives doing things which they don't know why they are doing. Haven't we come across that? I am doing it, I don't know why I'm doing it. That is all, just being done. So instead, if you become conscious, understand why you speak to somebody. Sometimes you go and just talk something without really knowing what you are speaking, isn't it? It leads to nowhere. It goes just in circles. And same are actions. Some actions are done unconsciously. So I think we've all heard ignorance is bliss, but Gita does not preach that at all. Gita teaches the exact opposite. Ignorance is not bliss, it is pseudo bliss. Ignorance leads to wrong karma lead to wrong consequences. Only bliss will come in knowledge. Only knowledge can give real bliss. Knowledge can lead to realization. Knowledge can lead to perfected actions. Knowledge can lead to understanding. So our aim should be towards that. And sometimes the biggest problems of our lives can become very simple if you have clarity. Sometimes we wonder, what is going on? Why is everybody behaving this way to me? What's going on? What's wrong? What have I done? When you just go clear on the inside, you say, okay, is it really something in me I need to change? Even if you are not wrong, if you are experiencing the same thing everywhere, you have to try to identify what's the pattern. Maybe I'm over enthusiastic and trying to tell things to people who don't want to hear from me. At that time, control is required. So the clarity, if you don't get the clarity, you will keep wasting your efforts. You receive energy, expend that energy. Receive energy, expend that energy. That same cycle goes on. So our mind should always be directed to the sat, or what we can say to the what is right, and we should use what is our viveka, which is the sat, asat, vivek, buddhi, ability to discriminate what is right and wrong, and that clarity makes a huge difference. So that is what we have to try to cultivate, is what Krishna is saying. How can we get it? Again, it is by practicing yoga, by dhyana, yama, niyama, asana, or pranayam, or even proper surrender to the divine. It comes, the clarity comes through these actions.
In context of what you said earlier, there was
Yes.
Kabir's doha, धीरे धीरे रे मना, धीरे सब कुछ होए,
हाँ.
धीरे धीरे रे मना, धीरे सब कुछ होए, माली सींचे सो घड़ा, ऋतु आए फल होए.
हाँ. जी sir, if we can translate the same, sir, for everybody.
So basically, like everything happens slowly, and we need to be patient.
Yeah.
So when you plant anything and you're looking for fruit, you have to wait for the season for that to happen.
Yes, absolutely. So, and we don't, even if the situations and moments try to push us into a hurry, we need to remember that let's not be hasty, isn't it? You can grow fruits faster by using hormones, isn't it? Growth hormones people inject. But even that also will not ensure you get the same organic fruit. Even if you inject hormones, also still it is going to take some time. It is like a friend of mine was very interested in developing a very big physical body. Now there are ways, isn't it? In Bharat, we have so many traditional methods of doing that. But this individual resorted to certain, steroids to do that. And before long, his kidney got damaged at a very young age. He destroyed his kidneys just for what? Because mind was rushing after something which was not having the patience, was not having determination, and the person was easily misguided by someone who had a wrong intention. So this is it is something which is important, that patience is important. Develop your skills. It is said, na, he who acquires a skill quickly perishes quickly. Many times. It does not have to be a rule. There are some prodigies, there are some who are acquiring well, but they have to master the basics, isn't it? They can't skip those aspects of mastering the basics. You skip that, then your base is not there, your building is going to fall. It is as simple as that. So here Krishna says this is the important with the inner clarity, and the last part is important, which says away from the crowds and gatherings of outer vanity. What could this mean? Mind, taking your mind away from the crowds, away from the crowd, and all those circles of outer vanity. What can this mean?
Not getting taken away by them.
Not getting taken away by what we call herd mentality, isn't it? Many times the crowd mentality is you don't even know what people are doing. Somebody else does it because this person is doing it. Yeah. It's like goats who are following a particular goat herd, isn't it? Goat herd takes, the goat goes. And they are so used to following that their mind is never applied. Their mind is never applied. If the same goat herd starts killing one by one, the goats will not even realize because they have got conditioned to just following. So that is a problem. That is what Krishna says, that away from these crowds, he says, away from the crowds and gatherings of outer vanity. What happens when generally, we say general discussions among people, what happens when people join for a chat? Most of the time, do you know what that person was doing? This person did like this, that person. All gossips go on, isn't it?
Bitching about
Does
others.
gossip really help?
No.
That is
No.
what Krishna is talking about. If at all you are having a satsang and you're having, it was very interesting for me to see in Gujarat. I had an opportunity to go there. There, different people from different disciplines, a doctor, an engineer, all of them had a meeting, and they had a meeting at a cafe. And I was just wondering, what is this meeting going to be? I was taken by the host. So I thought, okay, I have to accompany now. So when I went there, it was so interesting that they were discussing life problems and they were trying to find solutions. That is something which is very different, isn't it? But otherwise, if it is what we can say, if a person is not really following this and just gossiping, it's of no use. Gossip is a waste. Sadhaks have to stay away from gossiping. There's nothing good comes out of it. That is what Krishna is talking about here in this particular shloka.
I
When the
would like to
mind,
add something here,
yes, sir.
Sushmit.
Yes, please, sir.
There's a very
Yes, sir.
interesting example here.
Yes, sir.
Actually, I have witnessed this interview. This is an interview of Mr. Warren Buffett,
Okay, sir.
the world's number one investor. Right?
Okay.
So, US में कैसा है कि every big house, every investors, they have their office on Wall Street in New York.
Yeah.
Right? Every big house, finance house.
Hmm.
And this guy, he is being number one of the world. He doesn't have office on Wall Street.
Okay.
So his office is in Omaha, Nebraska, a very remote place. Very,
Okay.
very remote place of US.
Okay.
So CNBC interview guy asked him, why don't you have like office on Wall Street? Everybody is on Wall Street.
Okay.
So he's saying the answer is one liner and which is relevant here. He's saying that there is a lot of noise there.
Hmm. Yeah.
My
Yes.
thoughts gets diluted
Yeah.
if I go there. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean we need to keep away from gossips and all that,
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes. Yes.
focus.
This spoils, and our concentration should not be lost. That is what we
Yeah.
should aspire for. And if at all somebody says, "Okay, my job is to sell items in the crowd," I'm somebody who is selling, say, peanuts or something else in a crowd. That individual can do that and practice sadhana by not getting carried away by it. It does not mean only always I have to stay away from
Correct.
the spirit of it must be understood. The reason we are not we're asked to be away from the crowds is many times, especially on the starting when we are on the path of the sadhana, we start we hear different things which are absolutely contrary to what principles we are trying to practice in our life, and that creates a disturbance. So it is better until your base is strong. Why get carried away? Afterwards, it doesn't make a difference. You're here or you're there. If your connection with Krishna, the connection has been established once properly, it is established forever, wherever you are. But and this the way of the Kshetrajna is, as I think, as Pankaj gave an example of an investor, he said he would rather be away from the crowd. That is the way. Keep yourself free from the noise. Use your creative energies. Use your faculties for the best service you can offer for Krishna. What more is needed? So anything that is helping you, take it ahead. Otherwise, you can throw it away. Let's see. Krishna goes on. अध्यात्म ज्ञान नित्यत्वं तत्वज्ञानार्थ दर्शनम एतत् ज्ञानमिति प्रोक्तम अज्ञानम यत् अतोन्यथा. Seeking verily the true knowledge, spiritual, understanding its principles, philosophical and factual, all these conform to true knowledge's way. All against this is ignorance, one can assuredly say. So all of this, Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam, always seeking that Adhyatmic knowledge in the sense the knowledge of the truth, knowledge of the eternal truth of things. You can learn material science also and still understand some very divine principles which are embedded in material science, isn't it? Anybody from the science field? Yes? Can someone share something if we can? Okay,
Well,
Pallavi.
he
Yeah.
says everything in some chapter. He says everything has to be in moderation, and
Okay.
sense of anything is not good.
Yeah.
So
Again,
yeah,
that is body also is something similar, isn't it?
coming to eating too much. So eating calories, it's too much calories, and you gain weight, and then you get
Okay.
hypertension, etc. So it leads to disease. So doing too much
Yeah.
of something leading to disease.
Okay. So that same principle has great biological significances also. It can be for somebody who is practicing a diet. It can also be for a doctor who is administering anesthesia, isn't it? Too much of anesthetic will make that person sleep for forever also, isn't it? So it has to be right. So these are principles which are factual, which are universal. These are what we call tattva jnana, and tattvas don't change wherever you understand. So trying to understand the root principle, trying to understand its philosophies, which are again, it is not just blind faith, blind following. Shraddha cannot be blind. That is what we understand. We have to have understanding with knowledge, becoming conscious. Why is this? What is it for? This approach, all these, the shlokas number 7 to 11, Krishna says these are all the ways of becoming the Kshetrajna. These are the ways of becoming aware. These are the ways of becoming conscious. You practice this, You are certain to become conscious. At least you can become the Kshetrajna in your Kshetra and then slowly go closer to the Supreme Kshetrajna also. Because that is the truth. All knowledge ultimately culminates in one place only. People who go very, very, very deep into any knowledge, they just see that, yes, this is one, this is one. Different arts also will merge. Arts and humanities will also merge with science. It is possible, but in the deepest of deepest truths. That is where Krishna is taking us. Krishna says all these conform to knowledge's way. What is ignorance? Everything against this. All against this is ignorance. One can assuredly say. Means just do the opposite. Krishna says don't be showing off all the time. Well, if you do the opposite and try showing off, experience what is the consequence of ignorance. Again, understanding the truths, for example, of Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. Rejecting the truths of Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, what difference will it make? It makes no difference, but your entire approach for life is altered. Bereft of anxieties and familial concerns. No, I have a family, I have to be worried about them. If you decide I have to become worried, will that ensure your family members live a better life? No. Instead, it will again create more trouble. And in the end, because of too much anxiety, if you start getting hypertension, it is going to affect you and affect your family also directly. So that also is something. Same way, somebody says, I don't want to persevere, I don't want to have continuous perseverance. Again, the person cannot go. So it's so simple. One need not worry about what is wrong. Instead, you focus on what is right. Isn't that better? Many times in our personality, we have this, everybody has plus and minuses, isn't it? Some people are extra critical. Oh, I'm so hopeless, I'm so hopeless, and they start remembering only that. They get in trouble because they forget what is good. Instead, build what is good, make it so great that all what is wrong will automatically wither and fall off. Even some of the Jyotishis do the same thing. Instead of, okay, this graha is weak, let me use this particular ring to make that graha which is weak strong, or make that, or suppress the negative traits. Or instead of suppressing negative traits, start focusing on what is positive and increase them so much that it will allow you to transform completely. Slowly. That is what Krishna is talking about. Watch the way of the Kshetrajna, he says. Follow these principles. Whatever is against it is anyway ignorance, and you are not concerned about it, so no need to look at it. That is what Krishna is saying here. Let's go on further. Krishna says, Nyayam yattat pravakshami yat jnatva amritamashnute anadi mat param brahma nasattan nasaduchyate. I now reveal the wisdom wherein the golden truth is contained, knowing which the immortal consciousness can be gained. That knowledge of the eternal Brahman Supreme, beyond existence and non-existence's limits, one can deem. Krishna says, I'll reveal that wisdom wherein the highest truth, which is the Suvarna Satya, which supreme truth, the golden truth is there. I will reveal that, is what he says. When you understand this, you can gain that supreme consciousness which is eternal. The knowledge of the eternal Brahman Supreme beyond existence and non existence's limits one can deem. Just let us focus a moment for what is this immortal consciousness. What do you think from our point of view? What is that immortal consciousness? What is immortal consciousness according to us? What do we know about it? We know mortality, of course. We know limitations. Yes, Maji?
The consciousness which will not change,
Yes, yes.
that is immortal consciousness.
Which will be eternal.
Yes. And the
But
truth. And the ultimate truth.
yes. But everything we know is changing, no?
Yeah, this immortal truth, consciousness will never change.
Yes, but how do we relate to it? Because
That I
it's
don't know.
Huh? Okay, Mamaji says we're not very sure on how we can relate
Yeah,
to it. But
that's okay, sir.
what is there which is eternal, Ji?
Our mind.
Our mind
Mind.
gets changes, mind gets into trouble also. We feel I want to
Yeah.
throw my mind away only
But
sometimes.
if you fix your mind in divine, that immortal conscious will,
Maybe through the mind you can
yeah,
connect with
you
the
get it.
divine, and maybe that
Divine.
some
Yes.
immortality of the divine may seep
Yes.
in through that. Okay,
Yes.
fine. All right, fair enough. Yes. Pankaj, yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So immortal consciousness in our thing. I mean, there are immortal things around us, like air.
Yes.
Air is immortal,
Okay. Right.
right?
Right.
It's Anadi Anand,
Yes. Okay.
it's all
Okay.
there.
Right.
Surya Prakash is immortal, but all those are
Yes.
around us, right?
Yes.
Now, if we are talking inside us or along with us, maybe I would say whatever Gita is saying, like Atma, that Atma thing is
Okay.
immortal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Atma is there. What about love, sir?
Oh, of course.
Isn't it?
Love. Yeah, yeah,
Love
yeah,
is.
yeah.
That is one very interesting
Prem.
emotion which can allow us to connect with it. Means we can feel, we can see even now, for example, Krishna's love is visible to us, isn't it? As we read the Gita, it is palpable. Love of what we can say, some of our say grandparents, if we have remembered the memories of them, they have left us, and yet something about them still remains, and it brings you a warmth, a kind of a joy. Well, these are all little trickling moments where these moments bring us a small taste of what is eternity. What is eternity? We do not fully understand because our body is not eternal, or we see Shara. Yet inside of us, there is something which longs for something which will never get erased. And that is that consciousness. Krishna is talking about it, and then slowly he explains in the next line only it is the knowledge of the Brahman. Here he says that knowledge of the eternal Brahman, because the Brahman is the supreme consciousness, that Tattva. If we want to define that, Tat Kim, what is that immortal consciousness? Tat Brahman. How is this Brahman? This is where Krishna says it is beyond the limits of what is existence and non existence. It will stay. Another example is immortal is Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma is eternal. This we have a very practical in our small humanity. We have experienced it in Bharat's history only. We have seen this. No matter whatever forces are at play, trying to erase this we have something called a civilizational heritage, isn't it? Which we have inherited. Which we have inherited with a lot of a baggage of sorrow, baggage of pain, all those things come in, but yet that has not lost. That chain, that golden chain has still remained. Today we are studying Bhagavad Gita, which we are from different fields. We have doctors, we have businessmen, we have teachers, uh, we know so many, some wonderful homemakers are there. All of them are still connecting to that same seed scripture, which is connecting to that same consciousness, and that consciousness is spreading, and we are seeing the portion of that scripture's consciousness entering us, bettering our lives, and at times bettering others' lives also through us. That is that flow which is taking place. Krishna says that knowledge which will allow you to understand, that is the power of the majesty of the supreme divine Brahman. Let us see. Sir, next shloka. Sarvatah पाणिपादं तत्सर्वतो शिशिरोमुखं सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति. His hands and feet spread in all directions. Everywhere we see only his eyes and faces reflections. The whole universe by his divinity he does engulf and pervade. All forms are but dwellers in his shelter and shade. This is the supreme who is spreading everywhere. What does this remind us of, this shloka, especially? His hands and feet spread in all directions. Everywhere we see his only eyes and faces reflections. The whole universe is pervaded by his divinity. Verily, he does engulf and pervade. and all life forms are but dwellers in his shelter and shade. Anybody, what does this remind us of?
Sharupa.
Okay, Maji says Vishwarupa. Yes, sir,
Sharupa.
Pankaj?
Yeah, I'll go with the same thing.
Okay.
Vishwarupa, reflection of Vishwarupa. Yeah.
Yes, we don't know what Arjuna is going to suddenly get reminded of. Is he going to again have those hair-raising moments just thinking of it? Is he traumatized by it? But yes, you study the Purusha Sukta, also the same description is there. Sahasra Shirasha Purusha, Sahasraksha Sahasrapa. That Supreme Purusha is present, and this is what Krishna is talking about. We are all of us, we think we have done so much, we achieved so many things, all of it, but we are actually so minuscule in comparison to the Supreme Divine, and we are all dwelling in that consciousness of the Divine who is nourishing all of us whether or not we are aware of. He goes on further. He says, Sarvendriya Gunabhasam, Sarvendriya Vivarjitam, Asaktam Sarva Bhruchaiva, Nirgunam, Gunabhoktrucha. In all qualities and senses, his splendor is there, but none of the sense impulses does he himself bear. Detached from all, he nourishes all creations. He enjoys the senses, but they are not his limitations. So, this supreme immortal being, which is described in the Puranas as the supreme Purusha, who is spreading across the world, across galaxies, everything is just contained in that divinity. Krishna is giving a description of it. Actually, if these particular shlokas only will allow you to understand the Upanishads, they are talking about the truth of the Upanishads. You study any Upanishad, pick up any Upanishad, you will see a lot of parallels. The paths of different Upanishads are different. That's why it's going to be interesting when you read the Upanishads after this. It might be in the form of a story, it might be in the form of a riddle, depending on the nature of the Upanishad, but it is going to give you the same truth, the same kernel of wisdom which is here in the Gita. That is why Gita is called the Gitopanishad, because Gita itself is like an Upanishad. So here Krishna says, in all qualities and senses, his splendor is there, meaning that divinity is visible. The splendor of the divinity is visible in all the qualities and the indriyas, but none of the sense himself. None of the sense impulses does he himself bear. I mean, we get cranky. Does the Supreme Purusha get cranky? Isn't it? No, it's not. He's not bound by the limitations of us of senses. He's there in the senses, yet not bound by it. Detached from all, he nourishes all creations. He enjoys the senses, but they are not his limitations. He is the enjoyer of the senses. Means he's also participating when we are experiencing the little joys of our indriyas. He is also, oh, nice, as we are enjoying a flavor of ice cream. Maybe a portion of that the divine is also enjoying through us. But the divine is not limited by the limitations of our senses. How do we understand that? It is just like, I think, we remember the time dilation concept that was mentioned in the 8th Adhyay, where one day of Brahma is equal to, uh,
365 days of
yes, it's
one
actually a
year.
yuga, a yuga of man, one entire yuga. So it is just like how a very experienced champion watches a beginner on the first day. The beginner sometimes falls. The beginner then cries, "What is this? I lost." But the champion understands. Yeah, right. This crying also is needed. I remember how I lost on my first day. That is what made me. Cannot be this way. I have to rise. So the fall also you are able to understand. That is where the higher consciousness of the divine is. Excuse me. The divine is able to understand, but is not limited by it. Is what Krishna is saying. Means, what is the color of Krishna? Yeah, one moment, Palaviji. I think if you have a question, just a moment. What is Krishna's color? People say he is like water. You put any color, that color will be reflected, but his own original color nobody knows. He is able to wade through all the different entanglements. But is he bound by any of those entanglements? No. Look at Mahabharata. He had relations with everybody, but nobody could bind him. No. That is what Krishna is talking about. Yes, Pallaviji, what is it you were asking?
Uh, who is he in the shlokas?
Who is he?
He. Uh,
Interesting question. Who is he? Krishna is referring to somebody as he. The one who has given Vishwarupa Darshana. He is only talking about him. So, can someone share some light on what do you think who this he is? Saha Kaha. Who is that he?
Himself.
Okay, then is he having something like a. Sometimes people with ASD refer to themselves in third person, isn't it? With autism, they sometimes. Yes.
He's not an ordinary human being. He's not a human being.
Okay.
He's in the body of a human being.
Okay.
He's talking about his
Higher consciousness.
self.
Krishna is talking
Yes.
about the Supreme Purusha. Krishna recognizes that he is a part of a higher consciousness and Supreme Being, which is the Purusha. He understands there is no difference between him. But right now, this like one is the inert Purusha and another is the manifest one with the qualities. It is like now I am actually a player. I am a player. But today I have worn a particular cap and a uniform. But I represent that supreme game. I'm not just a player of one particular. Today, you may see me in this team. Tomorrow, I might play in another team. But I am actually that. That is what he is referring to.
Virat Purusha? Is it,
Yes, Majid?
we're talking about Virat Purusha?
Virat Purusha is again is a Vyakta Darshana of the Supreme Purusha.
Supreme
That
Purusha.
was given for Arjuna to understand the
Yeah.
beauty of.
Virat Purusha.
Yeah. That could have also been a big ocean for somebody who has not seen the ocean before, isn't it? The ocean will also look so crazy and so powerful. Something like that. It can be anything. Though that is again a manifesting. Very interestingly, in the after the Gita, also when Krishna says. To Arjuna, when Arjuna asks, I forgot what you have said, or I need to hear again from you because in the life's this turmoil or this battle, whatever golden wisdom that I received from you, it looks like I need to revise it, I need to reconnect to it. That time Krishna says, Yoga Yukto, my Arjuna. I was connected with the Supreme at that moment, and that Supreme consciousness was flowing with me. So I will not be able to repeat the exact verses right now. I will have to tell you, I'll again connect to it, but this time I will get a different connection and I will give you different set. That is how Anugita came into existence. So when here Krishna refers to he refers to that supreme Purusha, which is the probably the inert supreme being. Krishna is the active, executive, manifest supreme being, meaning we see two different traits of the divine, isn't it? One is the divine, which is supreme and inert and not having the active principle of the Brahman. And the other is the active principle that is participating in the world. Is that okay, Pallaviji? Yes. So when Krishna refers to Krishna, the active principle is referring to the supreme principle of the divine Brahman. Yes, ji. Let's continue. Krishna goes on. He says, बहिरन्तश्च भूतानम् अचरं चरमेव च सूक्ष्मत्वात् तदविज्ञेयं दूरस्थं चान्तिके च तत्. Present inside and outside, all living ones, both mobile and immobile, together at once. He is unimaginable, infinitesimally subtler than the subtlest. Beyond understanding, he is nearest and also the farthest. This looks like Krishna has decided. Arjuna has just now come on track. He's trying to confuse him further. He's talking about a principle which is really bending logic and stretching the limits of logic. He says he's present inside and present outside all the living ones. I remember a time in college we had gone in search of our class representative. And when we called him on the phone, he said, I'm not in the house. But we could see he is inside the house and we could see him on the terrace. So he said, hey, I can see you on the terrace. You should have at least gone inside and told that. So you know that that person is inside if you can see. So we know what is inside, we know what is outside. But how can somebody be both inside and outside? That is the big question. Krishna says this Brahman is breaking that limit also. He's inside also, he's outside also. He's both mobile or also immobile, both at once. He's unimaginable. He cannot be imagined. He's infinitesimally subtler than the subtlest. Beyond understanding, he is nearest and also the farthest. Okay, so he's beyond understanding. Why is Krishna trying to make Arjuna understand? Anybody? These opposites are being thrown in front of Arjuna. What could be the reason behind this?
He's building a very airtight understanding that I'm everywhere.
Okay, he's trying to tell him that, okay, that is one thing Shwetaji has said. Okay, anybody else would like to add further to the perspective?
Yeah, I think he's trying to say that it is beyond your composition or understanding. It is so complex.
Yeah, it is complex. And
It is very complex. You just go ahead and do your job. That's it. That's what I think
okay,
he's trying to
okay,
say.
Pankaji says it is trying to just make him realize it's just a little bit beyond. But he also wants Arjuna to understand. So he's trying to make him understand, but also telling it is beyond understanding. Shashi Maji, what is it you're adding? Yes, please.
I just wanted to say, I mean, we know Krishna in the human form.
Yeah.
He's saying he's already showed him his
Okay.
so he's saying, I'm there, but I'm present for you here as
Hmm.
well. That's how I understand it.
Okay.
Normally, we pray to God, we don't see him. He's somewhere near us, and yet he's not visible to us.
Okay.
It's a very,
Okay. A thin line.
yes,
Okay.
very thin line. You
All
can't
right.
physically see him, but you can feel his presence. But he's here and he's not here. He's not
Okay.
physically here, but he's close
All
to
right.
us.
All right. Yes. And actually, this is very essential for entering into the kingdom of Brahma Vidya. You look at whichever Upanishad you pick up, Isha, Kena, Mandukya, even Sri Aurobindo's Upanishad, whichever Upanishad you pick up, you will see this similar ploy being used by the Vedic seers to teach the principle of Vedanta. The Brahman is beyond human logic. Our logic knows the limits of near and far. So first he says he's near also. So your mind goes to what is near. And then he says it's far also. He's inside also, he's outside also. And beautiful in Upanishad, similar verse is there. Tad dure tad vantike. Tad antarasya tad bahyasya. Sarvasyasya. Or suddenly Om iti etad aksharamidam sarvam tasyopa vyakhyanam. There everything is composed in that akshara Om. The indivisible Om is holding the entire universe. It makes a person completely not understand when you look at it logically. But if you understand that there is something which is higher than logic, it's like I gave an example previously that I have a potential of a tree inside of this palm. You'll say that's crazy. How can a tree be inside of this palm? Trees are huge. Then I will try to explain further. I'm not talking about an ordinary tree, I'm talking about the biggest tree. The biggest pine tree is inside of this palm. You will again say, which I don't understand it. How can it be? But then when you get a higher understanding that I have the seed of that tree, yes, that means that potential is there. So I did not till I knew that there's a possibility of a seed, I will till to my logic it will completely look crazy. So something like that, this concept of the Brahman is taught in this manner where you are. Yes, Shashiji is saying something.
Do you think the macrocosm and microcosm applies here?
Yes. The microcosm and macrocosm, they are linked, isn't it? What Krishna is saying is it's not about becoming fully certain with your logic. It is about becoming ready to understand that my logic is not always, there is always an uncertainty beyond my logic. This is what we call a principle of uncertainty. Does it have a practical relevance? We have a principle of uncertainty also, isn't it? Anybody has heard of it? In physics, a scientist Heisenberg had developed this principle. One would say, what is the use of uncertainty? Well, that principle allows us to do some of the most complex calculations. It says you can't predict perfectly the position as momentum as well as the position of a what we can say microscopic particle. If you say it is here, by the time you declare it is here, it would have moved to one more place. One would say it's a very simple and illogical thing. No, I mean, what is great about it? Well, that principle is the basis for some of the biggest calculations. So, if I understand that my logic is limited, I will not be attached to my mental logic all the time. I will understand that there is something which is supralogical, which is supramental. There is a truth which is beyond, and that is the only way you can, understand. It is like how a teacher in a gymnasium, he teaches the students to do stretching, isn't it? Stretch, 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 and increase the limits. And that is how the mind also increases its limits. So, first, one of the principles here we can see Krishna trying to teach Arjuna is that understand that the Brahman is beyond logic. Don't think you can write a classification of the Brahman and write down exactly all the principles just on pen and paper, because for that you have to reach the higher state of consciousness. And for that, mind is what we call like a springboard. With the mind, you can reach the higher state. But for that, you have to understand the mind is limited. That is something which Krishna is talking about here. Even Sant Tukaram had experienced the taste of consciousness. He had not studied Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. He had not understood this principles of what modern physicists had talked about. Yet he spoke something very similar. He said, Anu Reniya Thokada Tuka Akasha Yoda. He said, smaller than the Anu, smaller than the Renu, and yet Tuka is wider than the skies. Smaller than the atom, smaller than the subatom, and yet he talked about that supreme consciousness. Yes, Gayatri ji wants to add something? Yes, please.
Yeah, in Shiv Mahimna Stotra, this similar thing is there.
Okay.
Namo Nidhistaya Priyadava Davistaya Cha Namaha. Namak Sodhistaya Smarahara Mahishtaya Cha Namaha. Means Nidhistaya means Nikatati Nikat,
Yeah.
very
Yes.
nearer. And
Yes.
Davistaya means very
Yeah.
far.
Yes.
Sodhistaya, it's
Yes.
smallest one. And Mahistaya means the
Yes.
larger Virat,
Yeah.
we say.
Yeah. Yes.
Vashishtaya, Yavistaya, the
Wow.
oldest
Wow.
of the old, and the just newborn like Yavistaya, Vashishtaya.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
the similar concept is there also in this
Absolutely.
program.
Such a beautiful parallel, I think Gayatri ji has just shared to us. You can share the mantra in the group for everybody
Yeah,
afterwards if
it's
you can.
29th mantra, I guess.
Yes,
29th
yes.
or 28th, I guess.
No, no,
I'll
most
share it.
welcome. Yes, please.
I'll
Yes,
share it.
please. So this is what Krishna is doing here. He's just introducing when we're talking about that immortal consciousness. Yes, it is present in all of us. We do not know it yet. But just because we don't know does not mean it does not exist. It exists, is what Krishna is saying. Let's continue further. Krishna says, Avibhaktam cha bhuteshu vibhaktam eva cha sthitam bhuta bhartro cha tagnyayam Krasishnu Prabha Vishnu cha. He is the immutable and indivisible oneness, and yet his creatures appear as life forms of distinctness. All living beings from him only emerge, and back to eternity, all of them return to converge. Krishna is saying he is that supreme, immutable oneness. He is that oneness. And yet, if we look at all of us, we look different, isn't it? We all have different tastes. Today we are wearing different colored clothes only. We are all in different, we have different perspectives, different thoughts. All of it is different. Yet we are still that one. We are one entity only. We are not fully conscious of it, but that is the truth, Krishna is saying. All of us have two eyes. All of us have one heart. All of us have 2 ears. Can anybody say I have extra ears? No, isn't it? It is the same. It is the same. Yet that one consciousness has pervaded everywhere and has differentiated in different levels. That is what that differentiation makes it appear as distinct. Let's continue. All living beings from him only emerge, meaning all beings, all the living ones emerge. We have all emerged from the divine. Can any of us feel or anytime feel that we are undivine? By principle, we are not. But because of emotions, because of attachments, because of failures of certain desires and expectations, we start cursing. I am hopeless. I am undivine. But the truth is, we are all descendants of the divine. Amrutasya putra vayam. What is this Amrita? The eternal, undying consciousness. We are the descendants of that eternal, undying consciousness. We have come from there. And when we experience the Mrityu in this Bhuloka, that time also we will be going back to that same consciousness only. We are not separated. That is what Krishna is talking about. This is the next shloka. Krishna, here it's very interesting. Where is the divine? That question is often asked. Young Swami Vivekananda had asked this question. It was almost like an atheist. अगर तुम हो तो ये क्यों है? If you are there, why is this vikara there in the world? Why is this distortion there in the world? That was the question which started his journey, and then it led him to realize the highest truths. Well, this is a beautiful shloka where Krishna talks about the supreme divine as well as the location of the divine. Where is the divine located? Interestingly, one participant shared her experience, a near death experience, and that experience she connected with this shloka because she was a doctor who got bit by a snake inside of the hospital. It's so crazy. And as then she was treated, and at that time she became unconscious. And while she was unconscious, she saw some very big, bright light, which was almost as if she felt I'm getting called towards that light. She was really getting attracted, and then suddenly she saw her children's faces, and she just moved away from that. She said, I didn't want to go there. But she says, every time I think of that brilliant light which I saw in my half awake state, I get scared, I get worried, I get that fear. But this shloka reminds me of that light that I saw. Well, this shloka is also telling where Krishna is located. Let us see here. Jyotisham api tat jyoti. Jyotisham api tat jyotish. Tamasaha paramuchyate. Jnanam jneyam jnanagamyam. Riddhi sarvasya Vishtitam. The light that illumines light is He, Jyotisham api tat jyoti. Beyond all forms of darkness that can be, He is the knowledge and He is the wisdom, and in the hearts of all resides His kingdom. So, where is Bhagwan? Many people say, He is there in that temple, or he is there in that here address is there. It's not some apartment which is your neighbor's apartment in this particular place. He is seated in your heart. He is seated in your heart is what Krishna is saying. The light that illumines light is He, beyond all the forms of darkness that can be. He is the knowledge and He is the wisdom, and in the hearts of all presides His kingdom. So the Maharaj Samrajya is there. He is sitting on the throne and it is in your heart. Probably we can touch that heart and try to reach that, isn't it? Can we not through our heart try to connect? Someone has already whispered to our physical heart how many times it has to beat. And it is also going to listen to that only. Not one beat less, not one beat more. We don't even know how much that is. But there is someone seated. If we can connect to that, I think we will connect with that supreme divinity. Like one doctor had shared his experience about doing a cardiac operation for a little child. That he had just told, please take care that Krishna is seated in my heart. The doctor himself was not really a theist or not really believing. But he said, whatever happens, I prayed to that Krishna seated in his heart that let this complicated operation be successful, because that love that that child had, no, for the divine, whether it's true or not, look at, he's not worried about his death or what is going to happen to him at this point also, where grown-ups panic, grown-ups have anxiety attacks. Here this child is saying while doing operation, no, please be careful while operating, because in my heart Krishna is seated. That child has really understood this beautiful essence of the shloka, and that doctor said that the operation was successful. Everybody attending that online workshop was gave a very happy relief sigh, because when they heard that, because everybody, though it was an old incident, everybody was secretly hoping in their heart also that nothing wrong happened in that operation, because that is a beautiful principle of truth. It's a principle of shraddha also. Let us have that shraddha that Krishna is seated in the heart. When you start experiencing it, it will transform your life. You will not feel stranded, you will not feel alone, you will not feel powerless also, and you will feel loved also completely. You'll be absolutely in. There's one small child from the ashram school in Pondicherry had written this poem about the Divine Mother. There is a sweet mother deep in my heart, always together, never shall we part. What a powerful mantra this is about the Divine Mother is not away from me, or I am not away from the Divine Mother. This is a great understanding. Probably this is what Krishna is saying, and this is where Krishna completes the part of what is that knowledge of the Kshetrajna. And here onwards, we see an interesting introduction of the divine game, the dance at play in the world between the Purusha and the Prakriti, as we know of Shiva and Shakti, the creative powers of the divine and the executive powers of the divine, how they play a role in tandem in manifestation. That concept is going to be introduced. What is the divine feminine? That concept also will be introduced in this adhyaya. So here we have understood where is Krishna located. Door number, apartment number, everything is there only. Hriday, in the heart. He is seated. So I think very well, there is a good chance that we can connect with that divine seated inside. And what happens when you connect? Well, that is something which you have to establish the Krishna connection and experience. Miracles happen. Certainly, miracles happen. There are so many who have experienced in their life, and life is absolutely different when Krishna's touch is there. So, with this, I think we can conclude. And again, this is like a very famous author. I think Paulo Coelho had written about miracles. They don't really go against nature. They go against our understanding of nature. What we think is not possible when it happens, we call it miracle. But when we understand, when we connect with Krishna, well, we can experience it. So with this, we can at 17th shloka, we will call it a day today, and we'll stop here. But if anybody wishes to ask something, you are welcome. Or we can just look at some of the take-home points and then we conclude. Yes, please. Anybody? Any questions? Anything you wish to ask or anything you wish to share? Or we just go to the takeaway points? Yes, please. Anybody? Sir, you are muted, sir. I'm sorry. Pankaj? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was muted. I would like to share a very small, humorous moment,
Okay.
if you
Yes,
allow
sir.
me.
Sure,
So,
sir. Most welcome.
when you said that a kid was being operated and
Yes.
he told the doctor that, please take care of Krishna, he's inside me. Don't, hurt
Hurt
him.
him. Yeah.
So, on the same lines, एक आदमी का ऑपरेशन हो रहा था. A man was operated in the operation theater, and doctor operated him and came out. And the wife asks him, Doctor, you have seen his heart. So, मुझे बताइए उनके दिल में कोई और तो नहीं है. So,
Yeah.
the reply of doctor is कि
okay.
उसी को तो bypass किया है.
Oh, lovely, lovely.
Oh, dear.
That was very nice. Humorous. Yes, sir. Right, sir. And just today, there was a nice meeting in Sri Aurobindo's Action office, where the editor of this particular journal, Sri Aurobindo's Action, she talked about something called Sri Aurobindo's humor. Humor is an important aspect in sadhana. It allows us to, see things as they are, and it is important to have that. Like, it does not mean just because we seek the divine, we have to become serious. Or, like she said, we don't have to look like somebody has died and we are walking in someone's funeral. That was what she told today. Yes, please. Gayatri
Yeah,
is adding something?
yes, humor is the entrance of the meditation.
Yes, yes, yes. And if you have humor about yourself, your life is going to be most blissful.
Actually,
You are able to laugh at yourself. What somebody else is going to laugh at me? I already laugh louder about myself. You are
yes,
free.
true.
So, all right. That was one interesting point. Yes. Any other takeaways from today?
With the
Okay.
mind, you can reach the highest state, though the mind has its limitations.
Yeah. So the mind, we must be certain that there is uncertainty in life and there is uncertainty in the logic of the mind. Mind may logically declare certain highest truths. Let us learn to keep our minds at bay at that time, because we cannot be fully certain that the supralogical event may not take place. Instead, become more receptive and understand. Maybe we will get glimpses of what is the overmind, what is the higher mind, what is the illumined mind, what is super mind. So many such states where manifestations of various possibilities can become clear. We can see unknown faculties develop. These are all states. Intuition is there, clairvoyance is there, so many such things are there. For that we have to rise beyond the mental capacities. We have to go higher, and that is one thing we learned. Yes, Anjali ji, thank you. Pankaj is adding something.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So my takeaway from this chapter is, I mean, not chapter, today's disclosure, is that Krishna is everywhere. You know,
Right.
Sarvavyapi is Sarvavyapta hai.
Yeah,
And he has many hands, many ears, many eyes, like Vishwasarupa we discussed.
Yes, sir.
And then in closing, he clearly says that I reside in your heart.
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing we can learn
Best
today.
takeaway. That's the best
He's
takeaway.
already here. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So we must keep our heart pure because Krishna lives there.
Yes, like a Devghar we keep clean. So let our heart be clean. Let our heart be. And Krishna doesn't like only one thing most. He says, don't have dvesha. So let our heart not have that hatred or these things for somebody else. And Krishna is okay. He does a lot of adjusting. He says everything is okay. But he says the heart that houses hate cannot house Krishna. So we'll have to keep there. Like in Vishwarupa also, he told that same thing. Without hate. So if we want Krishna to be a permanent guest, we have to permanently dispel hate from our heart. Wrongdoers, never accept wrongdoers. Don't like the wrongdoers. Dislike the wrongdoers. Don't like any of their wrong deeds. All that is fine. But don't allow that to cause hate, because hate is one poison which will pollute you only. So that is one thing we can say. Keeping the heart clean. Gayatri ji has added one
That
important thing.
hate will trigger your overthinking, and
And pollute you.
overthinking again and again it will
And make
pollute.
you do wrong things also.
Yes,
And your
actually.
nice nature, which is inherently there inside of you, will be destroyed because of
Yeah.
hatred. Yes. All right. Rahul ji is adding something.
Yeah, my experience having gone through the verses is that many times we get associated with the body too much, body, mind, intellect, memory, so many of these faculties. Whereas what Bhagwan is saying is you should be able to also distance yourself from these things. And that is being a witness to all these things, which are our own faculty, witness to the world outside and witness to these faculties also. Then we can maybe start experiencing who we truly are.
Yes. So understanding that, and as that detached manner, but yet conscious of our physical bodies also. As Krishna has said, he is connected, he is involved in everything, yet himself detached, yet himself free, like water. Yes, that is another point. Anybody else wishes to add something, or we conclude? All right. I think nobody wishes to add anything more, we conclude our session today with the Shanti mantra. Hari Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kasyid dukkha bhag bhavet. Hari Om Tatsat. Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru. Namaskar.
Hari Om
Hari Om
Tatsat.
ji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari
Namaskar. Hari Om.
Thank you, Krishna.
Thank you ji.
Dhanyavad.
Hari Om.
Thank you.
Namaskar. Namaskar. Hari Om.
Thank you. Good night,
Thank you ji.
Sushruti.
Namaste ji. Good night ji.